Antiques once again, and we have got a lively bunch, and we're all ready and souped up and supercharged.
Yeah, boy.
So let's get it on.
Hey, they wrote a song about that. Let's get it on. Yeah.
Did
they?
You know they did. You're a music man.
Well, y'all remember Get Her Done, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get her done. Yeah.
Well, okay, so there, we've got this birthday, 100th, something that we're going to talk about turned 100 years old. But
to be an antique, you have to be hell.
100.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if that's holds true now, because when you see antique store, if you'll walk through there might be things 5 years old, and there might be things 155 years old. But there's a whole lot of 30 and 40-year-old stuff in there. So what's the deal? Should they change their name? Antiques and More? Or
they'd
what?
be collectibles. I think it'd be
So they need to change their name?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, I'd like y'all to remember my dad this week, too. He's fell and broke his hip, his right arm, and he busted up his face. He's in the hospital there in Gallatin in bad shape. Be 98 Christmas Day if he.
You know, I watched him on YouTube day before yesterday.
Is that right?
One of his videos, yeah.
You told me he's the last, right?
He's the last of the Flat and Scruggs man. Yes, he is. Hope he pulls through.
Yes,
I watched him with the Nashville Grass, and they were doing Salty Dog Blues.
Salty Dog. I don't believe nobody got any higher than he did except a pine tree.
That's what they all loved about him.
Yeah.
That high voice.
Okay.
Yeah, this little red wagon deal now, this is what little boys used to put their girlfriends in them little wagons. I remember those days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get to those wagons, though, so I've picked up a couple of really neat-looking signs. One is it's 60 inches, and it's a Packard sign, double-sided porcelain.
Wow.
And you want to hear
car? Wow.
You want to hear the unique thing about it?
Yes.
For over 40 years, it was used as a picnic tabletop, and they'd painted it white.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, the other side was perfect,
Yeah.
And so, so what I did was when I traded for it, I went and bought some of this gel stripper, and stripped it off, and it looks brand new. That paint preserved it.
Well, that's amazing.
Now think about that, though.
That's great.
It was actually a sign that come from this community of Packard car sales.
Oh, I'll be done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that was a solid build old car, too.
Yes.
You got hit one of them, you'd know you got hit.
Yeah, it's about like a train. And I'll tell you another
like a German tank.
Yeah, and so another sign that I picked up was it's a International Harvester sign. It's a double-sided, and it's like 48 by 54. It's a dealership sign. Wow. And so I put it on Facebook, and I asked the question: was there a International Harvester dealership?
What'd you get?
Well, and this is what I got. So Christy Roger Brown said, yeah, Brothers Implement still in business in Hillsboro. I sent you a message. And then Pete Jackson said, David, there was one in my building prior to me being there. There were several businesses there before me. My father built the building to house an international place in the early 50s.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, and then here's Alan Mays says, there was one in Winchester and one in Chevyville. The buildings are still there and recognizable by their style. They were designed by Raymond Lowry's company. Here's some info on that. Okay, so, and then Mr. Ray Haggard. Everybody knows Ray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ray.
The bulldozer man. There was one on the square years ago. I think he says I think in the 50s. My uncle Lewis worked there. Okay, and then Topsy Lane says Brothers Implement. Mm-hmm. There's about 7 comments. And then the other one says, yes, sir, Brothers Implement in Hillsboro. And this is JoJo Dobson. Yes, sir, Brothers Implement in Hillsboro, and they still in business. Steve Duncan is the owner. Back in the early 80s, Case bought International Harvester. The new company was called Case H. And that's what it's called today. The logo, the sign, that probably dates back to the 60s, maybe longer. Okay, and then one other guy just said sweet. So that sign, think about that. if you do the international, if you go to eBay, you'll see that there's not one on there, a dealership sign this size. But the last one I seen sell, I tracked a couple of them down. One brought 2,600 and one brought 3,100.
I wonder if it came from.
No, a gentleman traded. I've done some trading with a guy that lives over in Cannon County. He ended up. It could have been from this county, you know.
That's what's going to be my question. You
Yeah,
think
could
it was one of those
be.
dealerships?
But you know, I want to know exactly where the dealership was up on the square of Manchester. Maybe somebody listening knows where it was. You know, the International Harvester dealership.
Yeah, 'cause I have no clue.
Because I don't. But somebody did tell me that where Ryman's Cleaners is, that used to be a Chrysler Plymouth dealership, and also some type of tractor sales right there. And he said when he was little, y'all know Reimer's Dry Clean.
Yeah.
He said when he was little, he thought that building was a mile long. You know what people don't realize is the tractors were a lot smaller
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot
in the
smaller
40s
back
and
then.
50s
Yes.
compared to today. Oh, you got a call?
I bet somebody's got an answer to your question here, David.
We do have a phone
Well, if
call
they do,
coming
then
in
y'all
regarding
answer
the tractor dealership. You can chime in too. Call 728-1320 to talk antiques. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, David. You probably recognize this voice. This is Winford. You with me?
Oh, sorry, he doesn't have a headset on. I'll hand up.
Hang on a minute, Winford. I got to get my headset on.
Okay.
All right. Now, what was it?
Okay, the tractor dealership up on the square was across diagonally from People's Bank, where People's Bank used to be on the corner.
Yeah.
The smoke shop now. It
Yeah.
was over where Mr. Green had his TV place later on.
Oh,
Furniture Place.
yeah. Jerry
That's
Green
why
used.
there's sort of a high loading thing docked back toward the back.
Yeah.
That's where they loaded in and out. And the reason I don't know why my cousin Ray Haggard didn't tell you all of it. Maybe he just didn't. You know, he was smaller than I was during that time frame. But my dad worked there too, George Peak, and his uncle Leo Haggard also worked there some, and then Lewis Haggard. They all worked up there as mechanics in and out. Later on, Daddy worked for Ford Tractor. But
That's
anyway,
where that's where I remember your dad was. He
Yeah.
worked at the Ford Tractor below the Jiffy Burger.
Yeah. Daddy got me a real good toy up there. It was an International Dozer. It had a big square box and it drug a electrical cord. But that toy, I'd never seen one of them sell or anything. I had sort of looked for them. And I was in Illinois back last summer, and at what they call an apple and pork day up in Clinton, Illinois, where my son lives. And there was one sitting out, but the guy wanted like $1,000 for it.
Do you still have yours?
No, mine got left in the house in the attic when the interstate got Dad's house, and anyway, it got gone. Nobody remembered it was up in the attic. It was just a little door thing going up there, but some stuff was stored up there, so it all got gone. Some of his stuff.
Boy, that's
brought
a
back
shame,
from
Winford.
Ford. Yeah. Now my Uncle Leo he got one, but they had a house fire up in Elkhart, Indiana, where they had moved to work on trailer factories and stuff. When the work got slow here, and Leo's got burned up because I asked him about it later on. I knew he had one, but it was about a 20, maybe 24-inch long dozer. I mean, it wasn't like a little bitty thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big toy, 20 inches, something like that. Had a blade on it that would go up and down, and a lever that turned it, would stop one track and turn it left, right.
Huh.
So anyway, it was a pretty cool toy for back in that time frame.
And you said it was electrified?
Yeah, it was electric. Had a big square box, but it had to drag it drug electrical cord between the box and the control box and the dozer. But Lord, I played with that thing forever.
I wonder
anyway,
what year.
That's the story.
Well, wait a minute. What year you think the tractor dealership left Square up there?
Oh.
And do you know where it went to?
it would have been just around, I was just a little bitty boy, and I was born in 46, so it was probably around 50, 51, 52, somewhere along in there, I guess. I don't know.
Do you know where it moved to, Winford?
No, I sure don't. Don't remember that. That might have been about the time frame Daddy went out to Mr. Arlie Hamby's Ford place on the Hillsborough Highway there, out where you're at, Jiffy Burger there.
Yeah, well, what about, do you remember at Reimer's?
That was a fun place because I would go out there with Dad on Saturday mornings, and I'd go over to the locker. And then over at the locker, they'd set me up on the drink box and give me a Coke and some peanuts, to pour. But you remember where the old locker plant was?
Well, yeah, the building's still there, but it's really fancy now and got the big copper top on it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the old
I
locker.
think Doug and Rita Pope own that now.
Yeah, they do. It was a gun shop for a long time. Jimmy Sane and those guys owned it.
Yeah, and your friend Al, wasn't he involved in that?
Yeah, Al owned it later on, or run it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
Hey, well, wait a minute. I want you to add another. I got 2 more cents I want you to throw in there.
I think he's already given us a nickel's worth.
A nickel's worth?
Yeah.
Hey, Reimer's Cleaners, at one time, that's where Mr. Walker's Chrysler dealership, the Plymouth Chrysler.
Yeah.
Okay, so also there was a tractor dealership. He had a tractor dealership and the car dealership in the same building there. Do you remember that?
No, he always handled that Mopar stuff, and then I don't remember.
I forgot what Butch Lewis told me what tractor dealership was there, because Butch said when he was little he used to go up there because his dad worked around there, and he said that when he would walk in that building, he said when he was little it seemed like it was a mile long.
Yeah, I remember it being a big building, but I don't remember exactly. I remember when he was
Well, he left there and went out to the intersection. He went right there where what is the gentleman's name that has the tire sales there? Used to be a muffler shop. Right there.
I know.
Just before you get
across
to the
from Husky's.
Yes,
Husky's law office there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
where Alan Walker was.
Yeah.
He had a son.
Caldwell's,
a year or two older than me. His name was John David.
Yeah.
I think
Hey,
John Allen.
Hey.
Allen, or something like that. I think.
I'll tell you something else.
About John David Gold. He was the Chevrolet.
Yeah,
dealership.
he was. I'll tell you something else though. You remember at that Chrysler dealership? Remember the gas pumps that was there out front too? Remember he had the gas pumps there too for years.
Yeah.
They finally took them out.
Dealerships did that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you, Winford.
Okay. See y'all guys. Have a good show.
Okay. So there you are.
I was going to ask him if he jumped all over that toy for $1,000.
No, I guarantee he didn't. I don't think he would.
I know.
Hey, so we probably need to take a break. Is that okay with everybody?
Probably
before we start.
Do you want to push that button?
Yes.
Before you start talking about wagons.
Before I start talking about my wagon.
Yeah. You do have a little red wagon, right?
I did have a little red wagon.
You don't have one
I
now?
don't currently
Well,
have
I still
one.
have 3 or 4 of them. Do you have one, Ronnie?
You let me borrow one?
I don't have a
Yeah,
little red
I'll let you
wagon.
borrow one. All right, let's take that break.
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, folks, we're back with Let's Talk Antiques.
All right. Hey, Ronnie, on yours, did you go do the highest price up there first? Did you pull the window down?
Well,
Pull the window down and do highest price.
there we go.
That'll save a lot of work. Okay, so on the break, we looked up a couple of Packard signs. And Philip, what did you find on that 60-inch Packard? Now, these are not sold. These are asking price.
Yeah, on the 60-inch, I found the double-sided one. One guy's asking $8,500 with 11 people watching that one. Another guy is asking $5,000 with 10 people watching that, plus $150 shipping.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, well, they're big.
Yeah.
Okay, and so there is that one that you're looking at right there is a 42-inch, which is a lot smaller sign.
Right.
And how much they're asking?
They're asking $2,000 for that.
Our best off. And so I went to the completed auctions on the Packard signs, and there's one, not hardly as nice as the one I've got. The guy was asking $4,500 plus $150 shipping, and so I don't know what he got for it, but it's close to the $4,500. And then here's another one, a 42-inch one like the one you're looking at. How much the guy asked for that?
$2,000.
Well, this one actually sold for $2,000.
Okay.
Here's another 42-inch that brought $1,800. Now you see down the line here, there is a rectangle Packard sign that says, "Ask the man who owns one," and it says Packard, and then it says "Ask the man who owns one." Okay, so this one actually sold out of Chattanooga. So I looked at that sign and I thought, you know what? I'm seeing too many of them. And guess what? And a lot of the people that trade for these things don't realize that sign. It come out of India, and India still has. They actually still make signs that like we did in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. They still got that technology. So what they figured out, they're making these signs and chipping them up on the edges and sending them over here as brand new. Well, there's one right there.
Yeah.
They're asking what are they asking for that one?
$800 their best offer.
All right. Then look at the difference in them right there. Look what they're asking for that one.
There's a guy, he's asking $400, but that's his starting price for the bid, and it says from India. And a lot of these say from India.
Yeah, and it's 21 inches high and 48 inches wide.
Yeah.
So if you run up, if you're
sign.
at a flea market or something and you see a sign that's a rectangle that says Packard, ask the man who drives one.
You better question it.
Yeah, you just go on and keep walking past that sign because they're all reproductions, and that's all you can call it. You know, if somebody makes one or two or something, I call that artist made. But when you make them by the hundreds and then try to put them off as real dealership signs.
That's a scam.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever actually had that slogan. I'm sure they probably
Oh,
did.
no, they actually had that sign. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why they did them, Ronnie. Okay, so now let's jump from our Packard over to the International Harvester.
Okay, I found a nice International Harvester. This is a neon sign here. Brought $4,500 at 4 bids. Then I found an older.
Now, none of these that Ronnie's talking about are like the double-sided porcelain sign I've got, but these are the only ones that's actually sold on eBay, right?
Right.
Okay, so what's the second highest price one, Ronnie?
This is an International Harvester Scout sign. You know, advertising the Scout. And it brought, I'd say, somewhere between $1,500 and a couple $1,000.
All right, but well, hold up just a minute so I don't lose my train of thought here. You know, International Harvester actually sold trucks too, And the truck sign is not rectangle; it's round.
So
Really?
I've got a title for one of those scouts over at the house.
How about that? Well, anyway, the round double-sided porcelain sign is the sign for the dealership for the truck signs, and the rectangle sign is for the ones for the tractors and whatever. All right. So now, what's
That's
the next one you got?
I got a 1950s International Harvester farm tractor, 30-inch lighted sign. Brought $1,425, and there were 39 bids on that one.
What about that blue one? What a pretty
This
pretty
one
sign.
right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 1940s tractor's dealership advertising sign, and they had $2,400 on it, but they took the best offer, and it was something over $900 probably.
I'd say it's in the 2,000 range.
More than
Click
that.
on that, Ronnie, and let's see what size that is. 'Cause that is a good-looking sign. It's dark blue with white
It
letters.
looks like it's a long sign.
Yeah. See if it says. Did you see? Go back up a little bit. You might have to.
I'm looking
Are you on
over
it?
here, yeah. He doesn't say here unless it's down here.
There it is.
Okay, yeah. 72 by 18.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size
Well,
sign.
that is
Yeah,
pretty
6
good.
foot.
Yeah.
6 by 1.
Is it a
yeah.
porcelain sign? It looks porcelain.
No. Made of metal with wood frame.
Oh, okay. That's a good-looking sign.
I'm glad you can see that small writing.
All right, so
I agree.
let's go to the bigger writing so you can tell us.
Let me just blow it up a little so I can see it. There we go. That's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's better than my glasses. All right.
So what's the next one?
Now, we have several of these little neon Case International Harvester Art Deco marquee signs. Yeah, this is brand new. That's why there's a bunch of them on here. This one brought $867.
It's lit up.
I got a, well, that's a Farm Mall International Harvester.
Yeah, but it's just a sign. It's not a neon. How much did it bring?
It brought probably something.
What's it say, McCormick Farm?
Bought somewhere between $600 and $800.
Yeah.
And then I have a service sign, International Harvester Trucks. It says gas, oil, farm, porcelain.
Yeah, that sign there says used equipment on it.
So this guy sold a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
$600. And then I have a,
There's a truck sign.
and this is part of a live auction here. Brought $550 with 12 bids. Now, this is nice right here. It's a tractor. It's a International Harvester tractor stand-up salesman, 12 inches, metal, gas, oil sign. It's a little man standing up.
Looks like a police officer almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Ray, if you remember, those people used to dress with those hats and stuff.
Yes,
Those-
sir. I
In
had
those
one
gas
just like
stations.
Yeah, all those people dressed up though. That
What's
were,
he-
Made us look like
even at the repair shop.
What's he holding in his hand?
I don't
like
know
old
exactly
Ronald
what that
Maytag
is.
man.
He does look like the Maytag man.
Yeah, but he brought $445 and it had 58 bids on it. Now here's a something a little different. She said fits an International Harvester, but it's one of the 40s World War II victory flag.
Yeah.
You know those
the
deluxe
V
signs?
sign.
Yeah, brought $406 with 26 bids. I don't see a whole lot of those.
What's that say? McCormick what? Dairy equipment?
International Harvester, McCormick Deering tin sign. This was $400, part of a live auction event. And it's a nice old sign. It's yellow and lettered in red and black.
McCormick dairy equipment used on this farm.
Yeah, but
Yes.
dairy.
Spurstad, HDWE, and an implement company.
Yeah.
Rock Falls. And it's got the International Harvester logo in
That
the
neat?
top corner. Yeah.
I have an International Harvester Farm Mall truck slided dealer sign. It brought $395. Free shipping on that. Then there's a International Harvester farm tractor, a 29-inch embossed sign. It's a wooden, and it's got embossed lettering in white on the top of it.
Got a picture of a tractor.
Underneath that lettering, and it brought $380 with 49 bids. That'll look good hanging on your wall.
What about that 30-inch sign?
That's a 30-inch round International Harvester. Brought something better than $370, between $370 and $380. Then I have a International Harvester 10-inch metal solar sign.
Division of International Harvester.
Ain't that neat? 19 bits, $370. Then we have an International Harvester battery cable rack sign. Brought $375 with 12 bits. That went on top of a display.
Yeah, right. Well, there's another display. What is that one? Is that for hoses?
It's for hose clamps.
Okay.
Racks. Brought $375, 14 bits. Here's an International Harvester West Bend coffee pot dealer sign.
They call it a coffee pot because it's the way it's shaped.
Right.
No, I think
it is a coffee pot.
Oh, it is a real coffee pot?
Yeah, it's a real
coffee pot. There's a cord there for it.
Huh.
Yeah, it is a coffee pot. Brought somewhere between $310, $370. Then I have a International Harvester. This is another neon sign. Farm Aisle, it was advertising $309.
What about the Eagle? That's a case.
That's a case. That's Case International Harvester sign.
It's neon, right?
18 inches by 26 inches. Good looking sign. It's got a round globe with Case across it in white and outlined in red, and an eagle on the top of it. It's brown with a white head.
Yeah.
Brought $287.
All right. So give us one more, and we're going to have to take a break. When we get back, Philip, why don't you talk about a few more Packard signs, because there's a really high dollar Packard sign there that they're asking.
True.
Okay, we got another 1950s International Harvester battery cable rack sign. And these hung on the wall.
Right.
You know, and had the little forks sticking out to the battery cables.
Now, what did it bring? Give us a price.
Oh, I guess everybody'd like to know. It brought
$350.
Well, it brought a little better than probably somewhere in the 270, 275.
Okay. All right. With that, let's take a break.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking.
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, folks, we're back once again with Let's Talk Antiques. And, you know, I always want to say something. Talking about antiques, it's good to just be able to say Christmas again without somebody getting upset.
Well, I never stopped.
I never did either.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to.
I wished I had a big scene I could put in my front yard with the baby Jesus and all of it, just so I could just irritate them kind of people.
Yeah, well, you can do that. You know, you got a pretty good sized yard.
Yeah, it would fit.
Hey, Ronnie, you found something that fit an International Scout truck. What is it's a license plate topper? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a 1940s license plate topper advertising Jayhawk Aircraft Flying Service. And it also, you know, it fit on a Scout.
Yeah, because it's at 74.
Model.
Yeah.
$249.
Huh.
Might as well say $250 with 4 bids.
Yeah. Well, it had a little shipping on it too, didn't it?
Yeah.
There you
go. So back to the Packard before we get to the wagons. You found an interesting, looks like a radiator style Packard service sign.
Yeah.
Well, that's 1930.
1930s. They're asking $9,500 on this.
Ooh, wow.
18 people are following it, so they're checking it out.
Yeah. Now what we're doing, we're going to go through a few Packard signs that's not the rectangle dealership sign that we was talking about earlier. So this is a good looking sign. What size is that, Philip? Does it say?
That's what I was just looking for. Let's see. 42 inches by 27 inches.
Huh. But it looks like the shape of a radiator, don't it? Mm-hmm. Per square inch, that's a pretty high dollar, ain't it?
It's coming from Southern California.
Yeah.
So.
You think per square foot or per square inch? Probably per square foot. That's pretty high.
It's pretty expensive by the square inch or square foot. Yeah.
So let's see. You got a few more too, haven't you?
Yeah. Back on there.
Now, what's that long-looking sign?
It says 1930s Packard sign from the porcelain neon sign era. It says the new Packard cars. Let me zoom in on it a little bit. Ask the man who owns one. Packard Super 8, Packard 8, and the Packard 12.
Yeah, so that's all cylinders.
Actually, these are the pull down.
Yeah. Like you would a map on like when we was in
Yeah.
school when they pulled a map down.
Like a map on the wall, yeah.
Huh.
And
That's
so
neat.
you pull it down and it's on the Packard
shows the
8.
cars.
It's got a whole bunch of pictures of the cars around. These are really nice. These are very antique.
I'd like to have that sign.
Yeah.
I believe you.
I've never seen one.
They're asking $7,500 and you can have it.
Well, we
With
said make an
$250
offer.
shipping, so that's $1,000. Yeah.
Make an offer, right?
You make an offer. I got $5.
Well, who knows? You never know what somebody will take for something.
You never.
Now you
Don't
got
cost anything to ask.
Now you got a little neon sign in the 40s.
1940s neon sign from Kansas City dealership, and it says the new Packard Clipper. In neon on that. It's pretty nice. They're asking $4,800 for that one. And here's one of the round signs, 48-inch diameter. It looks,
But it's neon.
Yeah, it looks like the porcelain ones, but it's got neon up above the letters. And this is new single-sided. They're asking $3,000. So is that one of the India ones, you think, or is that?
Well, that's probably just a new one. They're actually saying it's new. They're not trying to pass it off as an old sign.
Yeah.
That's one thing. People are concerned about that, but like I tell people, look, they counterfeit money. Why don't you think they would counterfeit something that's worth $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000?
Exactly.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You got any more Packard stuff?
There you go. Got some Packard battery cable hooks, like you get it in
Kind of
the
like
service,
the international one.
like the international ones. Yeah, this is $385 is to buy it now on that.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like this.
Very
Here's
good.
1956 Packard Caribbean convertible 10 dealer sign, 15 3/4 inches by 11 inches. So that's pretty small. Compared to the others, they're asking $355.
In an old car like that, a Packard or a old Ford, and the smell that came from them cars, was different from anything.
Yeah, and you remember the seats, the upholstery is so tight when you could pack it, it's padded, it would be almost like hitting a desk or something.
That's right.
That upholstery was firm.
I bet Wayman Simmons put that in.
I bet he did too.
Yeah.
He could if he didn't. Hey, it looks like you got a couple more cable signs.
There's another battery cable sign. This is in a little rougher shape than the other one. They're asking $300 for it. And then here's I guess it's a tool caddy. Packard cables and terminals.
Yeah, so you could have something to carry your tools to work on the car with.
And
like almost like a little carpenter.
Yeah, it looks like a carpenter caddy. $295 they're asking for that one.
I didn't know Packard made TVs.
Is that saying something about it when they give you a toolbox to go with it?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes you a little concerned. Well, hopefully those were shop equipment.
Yeah, there you go. Well, back then, you were expected to work on your cars. Everybody knew that.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Well, this is Packard Bell.
Okay, so that's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
So they didn't make TVs.
Here's another Packard battery cable sign for $300. Let's see. Studebaker Packard Corporation, 1950s Detroit Auto Award. So this is awarded to the Tillman Motor Company in recognition of so many years of business association, Detroit Business Association. $250 for that. Here you go. Here's just a 54-inch by 8-inch Packard's double-sided sign. They're asking $250 for that. Ooh.
But that says Packard's.
Packard's, you're right.
Yeah,
so
that's plural.
Oh,
so that must be the football team or something.
There you go.
What's that letter?
Here's a 1939 Packard Alvin Macaulay signed letter from the Packard Car Company.
He must have been the president or something.
Let's look at this for a second here and see what we got.
Or a designer.
It's a letter to Packard distributors and dealers. And it's about him turning over his responsibilities to somebody else.
Oh,
there you go. So it's his retirement letter. And they're asking $206.24 for that.
All right. So I guess what time we got left, you better talk about that 100-year-old wagon.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, we better get on it.
That little red wagon.
Okay.
Or we're going to be without a little red wagon.
Christmas is coming up, so you can just about,
Every kid I know always got a red wagon.
Had one at some point in your childhood. You got one of these. Okay.
Nice running there and find one under the tree, wouldn't it?
It was a major want on a child's Christmas list in the late 1920s and every decade since then. And this, it was introduced into the Toy Hall of Fame in 1999, and it's still in demand a century after going into production.
We're talking about the Radio Flyer wagon, folks.
Yes, okay. This year marks the 100th birthday of the initial wagon made by Radio Flyer's creator, Antonio Payson. Payson stepped on American soil in 1914, prepared to make his mark. He was 16 years old and had left Venice, traveling to Chicago looking for a better life. He came to the United States as a skilled laborer, as both his father and grandfather were cabinet makers in Italy. Payson eventually saved up enough money to buy some woodworking tools and rent a one-room workshop on Chicago's west side, where he began building phonograph cabinets, calling his first company the Venetian Furniture Company in honor of his hometown. Initially, the cabinetry work sustained his business, but Payson also loved to use his hands making other things. One of this was a wooden coaster wagon. It is said Payson used the wagons to help him move his cabinetry tools from job to job, and his phonograph cabinets. Customers began asking to buy his little wagons, and the rest is history. By
one that had sideboards on it.
Oh yeah,
now,
yes,
now,
sir. But
that was the Liberty
really
Coaster.
No, that was before then.
Before
yeah.
the Liberty Coaster.
Yeah, 1917, Payson was making cabinets by day and wagons by night. He took small samples of his wagons to hardware stores in an effort to make some extra money, and it worked. Payson made fewer and fewer cabinets as he was producing more and more wagons, and the Radio Flyer wagons were born. They weren't originally called Radio Flyers, though. The first wooden coaster Payson made was called the Liberty Coaster for the Statue of Liberty, which had welcomed him to America in 1914. So this is 3 years, just 3 years after he came to America, and he was 16 years old when he came to America. The 1920s roared in, filled with gaiety, but that soon turned to dire outlooks with the fall of the stock market, leading to the Great Depression. Despite these debilitating life events, Passon's business chugged along, and by 1923 his wagon business became known as the Liberty Coaster Company, which had several employees by that time. The Liberty Coaster line offered the historic No. 4 Liberty Coaster, but also sold two other wooden wagons, the Liberty Junior, which was a smaller version, and the Flying Eagle, an example that was a bit beefier than the original. I tried to find some of these on eBay. They're not.
They're rare.
They're not on eBay. Yeah. Passon created the first steel wagon in 1927, earning the nickname Little Ford because he started mass producing them. Mm-hmm. And interesting note, these first steel wagons sold for $3 each. By 1930, Passon's business had a new name, Radio Steel and Manufacturing Company. He dubbed his mass-produced steel wagons Radio Flyers in homage to two famous men he held in high regard. Fellow Italian Guglielmo Marchionni, who developed, demonstrated, and sold the first long-distance wireless telegraph in 1901, and airplane pilot Charles Lindbergh. The event was truly brought the radio flyer to the masses was the 1933 Chicago World's Fair, whose motto that year was "A Century of Progress." Passon decided to take part in the fair and wanted to make a statement in a big way. He went into debt, and the former cabinet maker funded the construction of a 45-foot tall wood and plaster coaster boy statue of a boy riding a Liberty coaster wagon. Not to let an opportunity pass him by, he also sold miniature wagons for 25 cents in the vendor space underneath the wagon.
With that, we're going to have to take another break, and then you're going to finish telling the history when we come back, right?
Okay.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking.
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, folks, we're back once again with Let's Talk Antiques.
Okay, during the break, Ronnie, you found something that was interesting. That $3 equals the what?
That $3 equals about $40 in today's dollars.
All right, so you went, Philip, and looked up how much the Radio Flyer wagons are bringing on Amazon?
The classic red wagon 100th anniversary edition you can get for $66.24. Or you can get,
which makes it about 50% more. So he would have really had to sell that thing like for $450.
They got a bigger markup on them now than he had on his to begin with.
Absolutely.
I guess that's because of overhead.
Yeah, he controlled costs a little better, didn't he?
Yeah,
and
they did.
So what else you got there before you finish your story?
The fancy one with the wooden slats on on it is $120 for that one.
It was $149.
Yeah, well, it's on sale this week. There you go. And then you can get the plastic ones that they run about $100. So which are fancier than the steel ones.
And by the way, the plastic one costs more than the 100th anniversary one.
It does. Yeah. So
what about that one with the roof on it there too? You got one with the roof.
Here's a Radio Flyer 3-in-1 easy fold wagon with a canopy for kids and cargo.
That's when you got to pull the little girl that don't want to get a sunburn.
That's right. That's the elite crowd.
Yeah, well, nobody needs to be in the sun nowadays, do they?
No.
It's got straps with for your water bottles and everything on it. That's
how much is it?
$100.
That's cheap. Well, check this wooden one out right here. Then you got to finish your story.
Here's a full-size all-terrain steel and wood wagon. So it's got bigger wheels on it.
Like
so
a four-wheel drive wagon.
$136 for your stronger wheels. Yeah.
All right. How much is it?
$136.
But it was
$178.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so finish your story.
Family wagon now.
The family wagon has where it's got a canopy over the top of it, and it's also got 2 seats on it where plastic pulls up.
Yeah.
So you can face each other. The kids can face each other in the back.
You can store your diapers.
$165 for that.
Somebody's got to pull 2 little kids around in that one.
There you go.
So finish your story there.
Okay. By the mid-1930s, the Stricolit wagon with its streamlined train styling and working headlights was offered for sale, as was the blue metal American Beauty model and the futuristic the Zepp model. During World War II, the steel was essential war material, so they stopped production from 1942 to 1945, and the factory manufactured the 5-gallon Blitz cans for the U.S. Army that known as a jerry can. It was a 5-gallon liquid container that held water or fuel, and that could be mounted to the backs of Jeeps, trucks, and tanks.
Yeah, a lot of toy companies were converted over during the war to make war parts.
Didn't you think some of those containers would be nice to have?
Yeah, definitely would.
So what's the next one?
So after the war, new models came out. The late 40s included the Coaster King, Highway Chief with its tall, slatted, removable wooden sides, and a non-wagon item, the Deluxe Scooter. The 1950s ushered in even more new products, such as specialty wagons representing popular TV shows like the Mickey Mouse Club, and even a garden cart for the adults in the family. The Radio Rancher and the Radio Chief wagons with the high sides were popular, as was the Radio Imperial scooter, a must-have item on every child's Christmas list right then. The color was pretty much always red, and other colors were usually only produced for a wagon specific to something like the 1950s yellow wagon, inspired by the movie Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. The psychedelic 60s saw the company create groovy advertising while still promoting their motto, for every boy and for every girl. With Neil Armstrong's first steps on the moon, Radio Flyer introduced a new wagon called the Baby Walker, designed to help small children also take their first steps. So they were, hey, this is the end of the show.
Yeah.
Already.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We are live Wednesdays from 10 to 11 on Thunder Radio. Let's talk antiques.